Dilly, it's Mr. Eric here, Friday, October 29th, 2021. Today's day one of the Boston Boys trip. We're going up to Boston for Halloween weekend to party it up and have a good time. I will let you know how it goes in today's video and the next two videos, so stay tuned. Now, as you know, before any partying can get done, you gotta get the work in, you gotta grind. Because if you don't get the work in, you won't get the money up to provide yourself with the opportunities to have a fun time. I'm a firm believer in money buys happiness, because if you have more money, you have more time to invest in yourself so that you could go travel, eat good food, and meet new people, all which turns into happiness. With all that being said, guess what I did this morning? Well, I went to the warehouse, and I was working frantically. I had to get about 80-something orders between Amazon and eBay out to the post office in just a few hours because I'm supposed to meet the boys at Gobi for lunch. So I get to the warehouse, I throw my phone somewhere, I don't know where I put it because I'm not going to look at it for the next couple hours, and I just get to work. I pick all my orders for eBay, I pick all my orders from Amazon, I get them packaged, put them in boxes, and then I print out the USPS scan forms, and then I'm on my way to the post office. This time I go to Southington because it's easier, plus I have to go to Southington anyway for Gobi. So once I get all that done, I don't even take time to go home because I'm already late because we're supposed to meet at lunch for Gobi for 1 p.m. But by the time I'm all ready and after the post office is done, it's 1:30 p.m. So I just shoot over there. I look like a freaking zombie because I haven't showered. I just put a hat on to make myself look a little bit more normal, and I meet the boys there. Now, there's not as many people meeting us at Gobi as I thought. It's only John, Rohan, who's not actually going on the trip, and then me, and then Radek. Oh, and also Andrew Leonard, but he was late, typical for Mr. Andrew Leonard. We have a good time at Gobi eating food. If you don't know what Gobi is, it's basically a hibachi buffet, so you pick your raw ingredients, you bring it to the chef, he cooks it on the circular stove, and then you bring it back to your table, you eat, and you can get more if you want. You basically fill up your stomach. We certainly fill up, and then it's time to go home. So we bring everybody from Gobi home with us because they're going on the trip, everybody except for Rohan. When they're at home chilling, that's my time to finally pack my bag for this trip because I haven't done that yet, and then shower. I feel so good after I freaking shower. It's amazing. Like, I don't know if I've ever felt that good after a shower. For some reason, all my energy got rejuvenated. I was pumped for this trip, and I also didn't feel tired from the night before. I get my stuff in my bag, I go downstairs, and guess who else I see? I see LVA Joe, Mr. Danielle. He's going on the trip with us. It's going to be awesome because we haven't gone on a trip with him yet, and he's freaking funny. He's a big partier. He knows how to do it right. We all put our stuff in the cars. At this point, it's me, John, Radek, Henry in my car, and then Mr. Andrew Leonard and Mr. LVA Joe in the other car. First order of business is picking up Wayne. We go scoop Wayne, and then from there we go pick up Matt Hamill. So we get Wayne in my car, Matt Hamill goes in the other car. From there we go to the gas station. We actually go to Cumbies to fill up on gas, and guess what? Cumbies also has a special Friday deal going on in October. If you haven't used it yet, well, you probably can't because this video is going up in November or December. I don't know when. However, maybe they'll do it again, so I'm just gonna let you know. Every Friday at Cumbies, they give out free coffee. So we stopped there, and Mr. Henry, who loves free coffee, went ahead and got himself some coffee, and then other random people also got a coffee, like John and Wayne. I didn't get coffee. I had a rewards coupon for a free iced tea or something, so I got myself Arnold Palmer. We drank all that stuff in the car on the way to the casino. Now, we weren't going to Mohegan or Foxwoods because that's on the way. We instead went to MGM Springfield. I thought it was a good place to stop because it's kind of close to Six Flags where we're supposed to go to next, and it's also something that everybody can get inside because we're all over 21. I'm telling you, that part's important because MGM Springfield has the biggest security I've ever seen in my life. Usually at casinos, there's like no security guards really checking who walks from the under 21 section path to the casino floor where you have to be 21 to check out the games. However, at MGM Springfield, they literally have security guards posted everywhere. You actually have to show your ID and get it scanned and pull your face mask down to prove your face before you can walk onto the floor. It is such a stupid rule. I think they're losing business because of it. Because let's be honest, lots of kids who are under the age of 21 and want to try the casino, they're going to blow like a lot of their paycheck and not know what they're doing. They're just there to have a good time and hopefully win some money, which they usually don't. You're losing a lot of those customers by being so strict. I know it's illegal and everything, but, you know, there's lots of casinos that don't really care. If you look 21, they're not going to say anything because they know they're making money. And Who in the real world is actually checking the casinos for this? Is there actually an undercover person going to the casinos and checking people's IDs and then booting the casino every time there's somebody under 21 or has a fake? No. I don't think it works like that. This government doesn't have enough money to do that type of stuff. Before I get too off the rails, what did we do at the casino? Well, we kind of just walked around, and finally something caught my eye. It was like a roulette type of game, but it was actually a spin the wheel instead. So if the arrow landed on the color you bet on, then you'd make your money back according to the probability that the color shows up. So you get like a 1-to-1 win if it's on the red, which is 50%, well actually probably 49.5% of the wheel. And then there's like 3-to-1 for blue, 11-to-1 for gray, 23-to-1 for yellow. And then there's like these diamonds you could land on that give you like 200 or 1,000 even to 1. It's really impossible to get that or choose it. You got to blow a lot of money to eventually get that. But I got my eye on that game, so I decided to sit down and play it. I lost 10 bucks right away, and then I just fed more money into it until I eventually lost 50 bucks. Wayne put 10 bucks in, got up to like 40, and he was doing well, but then it all trickled down. I'm telling you, whenever you're at the casino and you're playing these luck-based games like roulette or this spin the wheel game, you have to go fast and go hard. If you want to make big money, you just got to bet it all on the first spin, and whatever happens, happens. Suck it up if you lose. So if I want to make 100 bucks, just put 100 bucks in on red, and then if I win, woohoo me. If I lose, well, it's whatever. I had a good time. Because in the long run, casinos always win. That's how the odds stack up. In roulette, you have like a 49.5% chance of winning. The house has 50.5%. So in the long run, they're making 0.5% off you. It's ridiculous. That's how they stay in business. You got to think about that. It was really only me and Wayne who were betting money. The other people were just watching. I don't know what the heck Mr. Andrew Leonard was doing. He was in his car for most of the time, and when we're about to leave, he shows up into the casino looking completely different. Apparently he was changing in the car. I have no idea what the point was, but he got a little bit mad that we weren't going to the casino with him. We wanted to leave, so I said, fine, I'll stay with you for like 20 minutes. He played some slot machine games. He lost like 40 bucks. He also tried roulette, lost some money there. But, you know, I don't know what happened in the car, so you just gotta accommodate for him. Everybody's there to have a good time, so you can't leave people out. From there, we were supposed to go to Six Flags, but when I looked at the time, it was already like 7:30, and if we got to Six Flags, we'd be in there by 8:15, and the place closes at 11, so it's like not even worth it. Plus, you gotta spend 38 bucks on a ticket, so I don't know. We just didn't do that. Instead, we decided to go to the strip club. On the way to the strip club, we stopped at the weed dispensary because Mr. Henry wanted to get some weed for himself because it's legal in Mass, so we stopped there. I'm telling you, this is probably the coolest store I've ever seen. They had like stuff in cases with salesmen around trying to sell you the products. It was super cool, something I've never seen before. And there's like 3 ways to buy. You could buy from the register, you could buy from a salesperson with a tablet, or you could order online and pick up in person. Really freaking cool idea. I loved seeing it. It was a very clean place too, and packed. The types of people that were in this dispensary are people I've never expected before. There was a nurse wearing their freaking scrubs in the dispensary. I would not have the balls to do that at all. Then there was like old guys, there was a typical stoner looking people, there was hippie people. All walks of life were in that dispensary, and that goes to show how big the weed business actually is. Every person is human. They crave pleasure, and if weed gives them pleasure, you know, they're gonna do it. Okay, now time for the strip club. Now, Mr. El Viejo found a strip club in Springfield, and he said his cousin went to it, so it's supposed to be good. When I walked into the strip club, the first thing I saw was fat girls. No way am I interested in seeing fat girls. The second thing I saw was the bouncer, and it was a lady with no teeth. Now, if the bouncer is a lady with no teeth, what kind of stuff am I expecting from these girls who are walking on stage and trying to put on a show? If she's the one vouching for them, no. I don't think she has good taste whatsoever. If I'm looking for a bouncer at a strip club, I'm looking for a good-looking dude because I know he has good taste in women, and that's what he wants to look at all night. I'm not looking for a toothless woman who's in her 50s. No. That turned me off immediately. I looked at the boys, I'm like, no, we're not going here at all. We're just gonna leave. Did we try to find another strip club? Hell no. That completely turned me off. I decided we just go to Boston and maybe find a bar or club there near the hotel. So that's what we did. We drove all the way up to Boston to the hotel to check in. Now, me and Mr. Henry probably had the best conversation of my life in that car ride. We turned the music off, and for some reason, we just started talking about thinking. Just thinking. Like, what's the process of thought? What is a thought versus a reflex versus a reaction versus an intuition versus, I don't know, like some heartfelt desire? I was trying to make the argument that anything an animal can't do in terms of thought process means it's thought in human form, so that's what like separates humans from animals. But then Henry came back at me with some other points that make total sense, like if a dog can react to a certain thing and predict what's going to happen next, then that's technically thought. So him and I went back and forth. It really opened my eyes to different perspectives on thought. One thing I do a lot is I get in my head, like I pressure myself to do things. Now I'm really wondering if animals have the same thing. Like, do they pressure themselves a lot? I don't know. Another thing that's curious is like, at what point do children start to develop thoughts that are like not animal thoughts, you know? Like, a baby is just reflexive. So they're acting like an animal. Like, they know that something tastes good and they're going to want more of it. However, at what point do they start to realize that they're trying to solve problems and work towards something bigger in life? That's another thing. Do animals have any motivation besides reproduction? I feel like that's all animals want. They just want to reproduce. But humans, I feel like humans crave something bigger. Humans want to give back to people. They want to explore. They want to solve problems. They want to figure out what higher being is out there. That's like what philosophy is all about. It's trying to understand the world. I don't think animals can really do that. Maybe that's what thought is. Just like trying to understand the world. I don't know. Leave a comment as to what you think thought is. Maybe debate me a bit. God, dude, that conversation was freaking great. Anyways, let's get into when we check into the hotel. John has the hotel reservation set up, so I let him out of the car, and he does this thing. It takes a bit of a while, and apparently this guy is super strict. Like, he gets mad at John for having his mask below his nose. Screw this guy. I don't know if it's going to be good over the weekend when we're partying and stuff in the hotel room, pre-gaming. I hope he doesn't hear and, like, kick us out. We'll see. We'll see. Now, the only problem is that our car, my car, the kids I'm driving, we get there before Andrew Leonard and even before Alex. Alex is coming up with his friend Dominic to meet us, but he's going to be there later. So what we do in the meantime is we check our stuff into the hotel, drop our bags down, and then we just start walking around town. They also get Domino's Pizza. We just fool around, really. We touch some weird stuff. We make jokes. We find this restaurant called China Rainbow and think it's funny. We go to the ATM to get some cash, and then we go back to the hotel. Mr. Andrew Leonard shows up with Matt Hamill and El Viejo, and then Alex shows up with his friend Dominic. They take their time, but me and my squad, we want to get to the club. So we find this place online called Garage Room Boston or something like that, and we decide to go over there looking pretty sharp. When we show up to this place, though, like, we just get weird vibes like we don't fit in. And I'm gonna be blatantly honest here, there's no other white people. The whole place is just black people. Now, if that's the way the club is, that's the way the club is. I'm not gonna judge. I'm not a racist person. I really don't care. But if I don't feel comfortable, like, fitting in and, like, trying to pull a girl that I'm attracted to, then I'm not trying to go there. Also, the cover was like $25. So I'm not spending $25 on something I'm not sure about. So I tell the boys, all right, let's get out of here. Instead, we go down the street to a bar called The Draft, and it seems a lot more like my type of thing and my friend's type of thing. We walk in there, there's no cover. I grab a Corona, they grab some beers too, and we kind of just vibe. There's not a lot to do. It's a small space. They got a pool table, but nobody's playing pool. I don't even see the pool sticks. They got music playing, but nobody's really dancing. It's all just friend groups talking to each other. So that's what we just do. We just talk and we watch other people have a good time. None of us have Halloween costumes. There's some other people there that do. It's okay. We're vibing. Later on in the night, Mr. El Viejo, Mr. Andrew Leonard, Alex and his friend Dominic show up. We start to vibe with them, but they show up like 30 minutes before close, so they don't really have time to do anything. After the bar closes, we kind of walk around town a bit more because we have the energy to. We find a bridge that's going over the highway, so we go on the bridge and we just look at it. It's pretty cool. I don't know why, but a lot of the time on these trips, we just look at things and we explore random things. Like, we can see a building that looks cool and we can just go to the building and touch it and have a good time making jokes about it. I don't know. It's freaking weird. The bridge is super dope, but so is my car, so we go back to the car and then we leave out of there, go back to the hotel. We try to figure out sleeping arrangements. Now, the problem here is that there's only 2 beds in my room and 5 guys. So there's a couple options. There can be 2 people per bed and then 1 on the floor, or we can put the beds together and try to squeeze everybody onto the beds. However, putting the beds together the normal way will just leave a crease in the middle that somebody can fall through. Mr. Henry, though, comes up with a brilliant idea to rotate the beds to the other way. So think about about a bed you sleep on like lengthwise, Mr. Henry comes up with an idea to rotate the bed so that you sleep wide length. So your head is like on the edge and then your feet are hanging over. This way, we can fit more people onto the beds and then there's less space for this crease to engulf somebody. After that, we kind of just build ideas off each other to how to make it work. So then I think, why don't we just rotate ourselves diagonally the same way? That way it gives us more room so our feet aren't hanging over too much. Everybody's down, so we rotate ourselves and we try to get to sleep. The only problem is when you're in a bed with 5 different guys and you're laughing at random stuff, it's impossible to fall asleep. When one person starts laughing at Wayne saying, "I'm down, bet, I'm down," then everybody else starts laughing. Plus, Henry and John were a little bit high off of the weed that Henry got earlier, so that made things even more funny. Eventually, though, we got to bed, and we're looking forward to tomorrow. Till then, peace.